Alright everyone, it's time for a special video here. We've got to talk about Richard Spencer. He's got a hot take with regards to Afghanistan. I disagree with it, but then again I'm sure that most of you do as well. I'm going to read it verbatim here. Actually, I've got an archive. Link in the description, by the way, for any of you who want to follow along. Here's Richard Spencer talking about the Afghan withdrawal. It's rare that I, without hesitation or irony, say I'm proud of my president. Today, I'm proud of Joe Biden. He made a tough call, but clearly the right one. He admitted to failure, acted decisively, and articulated principles for moving forward. He did what Trump couldn't. Now, first and foremost, if you watch Biden's actual address with regards to the Afghanistan withdrawal, you'd know that he doesn't take responsibility. He didn't admit to failure, which is what it is, an unmitigated disaster. That never happened. At the end of his speech, he says, well, the buck stops here. Ultimately, I bear responsibility for what's going on. Before that, though, he spends the better part of 10 minutes blaming the Afghan people for what was fomented initially by Bush, promulgated by Obama, kept in line with what Trump was doing. Trump attempts to broker a withdrawal. Biden ignores that withdrawal, keeps us involved in Afghanistan, by the way, for almost 6 additional weeks, and he's getting praised somehow for this. Richard Spencer, I believe, ultimately, at the end of the day, is happy about the situation because there are going to be a bunch of Afghan immigrants, refugees in Europe and the United States. Well, here's the thing. If he, and this is the same for Al Sharpton, David Duke, Jesse Jackson, other race grifters. If nothing's going wrong, if your entire worldview is in line with what's happening, you don't have anything to complain about. Well, how are you supposed to promulgate yourself? Let's say that the United States became like a white ethno-state or something. Richard Spencer would no longer be able to bitch. He'd no longer be able to complain about what's going on. Always be careful of those people who are complaining so loud and long about these things and ultimately, at the end of the day, doing absolutely nothing about them. Here's the thing. Biden is the one that screwed Afghanistan. He kept us involved longer. He, in the meanwhile, over the course of those 6 weeks, did nothing with regards to logistics. He did nothing with regards to removing personnel, vehicles, military equipment, armaments, ammunition, anything. He did nothing. The withdrawal was already planned by Trump. Wouldn't you be giving credit to Trump for actually authoring the withdrawal deal? It was a foregone conclusion that the withdrawal was going to happen because Trump brokered it. The Taliban, by the way, signed on, but the Taliban never would have been able to do what it has done in the last few weeks if the initial deal had been gone through with. The thing is this. A lot of people, and Spencer is, I'm presuming, among them. I don't know what he majored in or anything about that, but presumably not, foreign cultures or anthropology. A lot of people don't understand. In parts of the world, like Afghanistan, if you make a deal, you need to follow through with it. It's not like in the United States. In the United States, you go back on a deal, you renege on a deal, you get sued. Okay, you go to a court. A judge decides what happens. That's not the way it works in Afghanistan, dude. In Afghanistan, no, you get stabbed, you get shot. Partisan fighters show up and raise your village, something like that. That's the way that it works. It's just like going back 500 years in history. It's the same goddamn thing. To applaud Joe Biden for withdrawing for Afghanistan is stupid. Joe Biden didn't get us out of Afghanistan. Donald Trump got us out of Afghanistan. Biden simply came along and screwed up the withdrawal and made it 10,000 times more difficult than it had to be. The withdrawal was already brokered. We already had the logistics in place to remove or at least destroy the weaponry and the ammo and everything else. How hard is it to move a few crates of fucking 50 cal ammo? They could have put it in the goddamn Humvees, driven it to Kabul, gotten them on planes, and left a month ago. They could have easily done that. It's not... Do you believe that the United States military... I know that there are woke generals and shit like that. Do you believe the U.S. military is not capable of moving basic on-the-ground goods? out of Afghanistan in a timely fashion, knowing full well, by the way, that this would happen. When Joe Biden comes out and says, well, man, we had no way of knowing that this was going to happen. Oh, no. General Milley there and all these other morons. Oh, we didn't know that Afghanistan would fall so quickly. Yes, you did. You had forewarning. Not just from WikiLeaks, by the way. You had forewarning from everyone who knew what was going on for the last 20 years. Dude, I was in middle school when we invaded Afghanistan. I know what's going on. I've known for years that this sort of thing could potentially happen. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. All of these people. I guess the brass is stocked with people who are mentally deficient. Here's the problem, though. Again, link in the description. Richard Spencer, once again, with his Trump derangement syndrome, and I've seen it before. I've seen it with Anomaly. I've seen it with other people who are very gung-ho about Trump several years ago, but then when Trump didn't, I guess, gas everyone in Long Island, all of a sudden it became a problem. You're blaming him for things he's simply not responsible for. Joe Biden happens to be the asterisk president at the moment. Blame him. The withdrawal is messy. It's taking more time than it should. It's probably going to result in some lives lost. Some civilians have already been killed, but that's a day-to-day thing in Afghanistan, so, the legacy media doesn't care. That's all Biden's fault. It is absolutely true that we needed to leave Afghanistan. I agree, you agree, pretty much like 99% of the viewers here agree. Leaving Afghanistan is a good thing. We should have held to the original date. Then this wouldn't have happened. It wasn't necessary. That's the whole problem, is that the withdrawal didn't have to be messy. It could have been done very streamlined. Biden, instead of rambling about infrastructure, could have spent the last few months organizing things there and getting us out. But he chose not to. To give him credit at this point is just a goddamn farce. That's about all. Peace out.